And I'm kind of curious, what exactly am I expecting to try to have? So if I debug, let's debug the hash. Oh, but the hash is type. Oh no, the hash is going to be this. Okay, so let's debug the hash. And getObjects has a lot of things, doesn't it? This might not be this might not be good to look at. And we can do our, so if I cargo run clone, now in this one it did a sample 2. So if I do sample 3, and right, we're going to var temp. File exists. Okay, so I have to remove. That doesn't actually cause any errors. We don't crash. Oh, interesting. So what happens if I choose? Oh, this is way too far back, isn't it? I probably lost my history. Okay. I think it was get sample 2 though. So let's send get sample 2 to get sample 2. Yeah, okay. So get sample 2 has an error in there. Which that's not fun. Okay, so let's, instead of the get objects, let's just put in this hash and let's just do a print line. I guess we have to do all the hashes, don't we? So this is ref delta hashes. Oh, right. Okay, so I need to hex encode, right? Encode makes it, yeah. Okay, so we got 2 ref delta hashes to begin with, which is okay. Now, if I were to go, let's create a, let's go to our, do I have an other? Developer, hello. How are you doing today? I do. Okay, so let's go ahead and cd into other. Oh, I have get sample 3, so I want to do a get clone to get sample 2. Now, if I get, I think I can just write, right? If I get right tree, Does that actually create all of the objects? I don't remember anymore. So now if I cd into .get objects, no, it does not. Okay. Is there something I can do with the pack file with Git? Is there a command that allows me to like search through and maybe there's something is. Pack unpacked objects in a repository. I don't think that's what I want. Get unpacked objects. Unpack objects from a packed archive. Maybe that. What object type was that? Can you print all hashes and types while parsing the pack file? Yes, we can. That's something we can do. See, that's up now. So where do we do that? That was a few streams ago. We discover the references. We get the commit hashes. Oh, I think I remember. Inside of here, as we're handling these object types, we're passing in the get objects and it's updating them. So in like handle normal object, which would be a blob, we're inserting that into here. Possibly. So here, that get objects insert. Discover, wait, let's see. Let's go through and we'll go through each one. So handle normal object type does that. Handle normal object type does it. Handle normal object type. Handle normal object type. And then we have the delta, we have the two deltas. So both of those should send in unless this is a hash for something that's not normal. I wonder if it's not one of the normal object types and therefore I don't have to care about it. Like, okay, we get into the handle ref delta. I create the hash here. Okay, I read the 20, so the next 20 bytes, which is the hash. Have I done the ref delta completely incorrectly? Is it not a hash? I thought, okay, we were following instructions from this thing. To read the hash, but maybe it's a size first or something. And we don't have the proper hash anymore. Or we never did. Okay, so read offset. The hash should be fine. I was just thinking the one you were looking at was a ref delta hash. Oh, you're right. It's a ref delta hash. So I can't get it out because this is the first time we've seen it. We could insert it in. What's the point of this again, though? Oh, do I want to maybe... So curse pack file, read mute hash, contest, reading hash from a curse pack file. Now we crash here because we don't have you in there, but you don't, okay, we don't have you in there. We don't expect to have you in there. So yeah, we get your base object size, we get the new object size. Oh, and then I'm trying to get the base object out from here. And the base object theoretically shouldn't be anything else, but maybe it is. Maybe the base object is another ref delta. So in that case, what am I trying to do with this? Okay, so we have our decompressed object. Am I doing anything with that? No, okay, I'm passing into, apply delta instruction. And the result is going to be a vec of U8. Okay, so it's all of these instructions, and then result. Oh, the result is just Boolean of whether or not I'm done. Oh, because I'm updating and I'm extending this with the result. Okay, so this decompressed is object, so maybe what we need to do is insert into the get object. So what if we make you mutable? Because I don't think I initially thought I would need to make this mutable. So if I say get objects, we insert, we're gonna have the hash here and the decompressed object here. Oh, this needs to be a new hash. That's right. Okay. So that's good. Maybe. You now need this to be mutable, which is fine. No more errors. Now, if I run this again, well, okay, we still have the don't have get object. So I'm trying to process these two, and this is the one that's going to have the error in it. And that wasn't the one I processed before. So I guess that kind of makes sense, because we don't have it in there. Now, if we were to while we're handling a normal object, let's print line this hash. Okay, so here's all our, oh, that's, no, wait, no, that's still the right size. It's just that these two lines are off. I was going to say the hashes are much longer, but no, that's not true. Oh, but look at this. Inserting hash B64F 69D44. So our first one has the base of this, which is fine. That's an actual object that we're doing. So we're processing that ref hash. That's great. And then this one comes in, and that's no longer the one we're doing. Which makes me wonder, in our process hash, when we are inserting into a result, so we're passing in the decompressed object. Do I need to get a hash of the decompressed object now? I wonder if I do. So if I don't I have a function for this? Yeah, get hash from U8 so I can pass in the decompressed object. And then that actually gives me a real hash. So what if we put this in here? And if I want to see what this is, okay, let's try this one. Okay, so that's not it, because the new hash partway through is EFA, which is not what we're looking for here. So that's not correct. Okay. Now there's another thought, maybe. Did I finish or do anything with the other ref? So we have handle OFS delta. Oh, but this attempts to panic, attempting to handle OFS delta. And we see that that's not where we crash. So that's not it. Batman, hello. How are you doing today? So I'm not sure where this is. Asitsu, you've been working on this for a while, right? Did you get past this point? I would imagine you have. I think I'm only working on it once a week, and you were working on it much more often. You can't see that hash in any objects in the pack. I wonder. Oh, okay. If that hash doesn't exist in any object in the pack, then I'm off. Then I'm implementing it incorrectly, and that's not a real hash. Okay, you've only done pack file parsing, no ls tree or cloning. Okay, so I guess I'm still slightly ahead of you. Also, Batman, you're doing pretty good. Awesome. I'm doing pretty good. It's a good Monday. We're working on hard, fun things, which is always fun and good. Okay, so either this doesn't exist and I should ignore it. Okay, everything has been during. Okay, so you're on the same timeline as me. The funny thing is, you can actually do the CodeCrafters thing without doing a CodeCrafters thing, because those three Git sample repos are public. So you can just you can still attempt to do the Git clone on them. I'm a little bit concerned that my handle ref delta isn't correct in this specific instance, but it is correct the first time we hit it, right? So we insert the hashes. These are from the handling the normal object. And then we process the ref delta hash, and this works. This is just fine. But then we call this function again, process ref delta hashes, and this isn't fine. So there's something different between the first time we hit this and the second time we hit this. Which means we have to play around with this. We have to figure out what's going on. And what do we want to do for that? I think we have to just walk through this. Now, the assumption is that the beginning of our ref delta is the hash, right? And if we look at our instructions, I think this is what we were trying to do. Read the hash. You have a single, which repo are you looking at? We are looking at get sample 2. Now, this works on get sample 3 just fine. So if I were to do this with get sample 3, no errors whatsoever, and then we read to the end where I apparently have this attempting to print out something, which I don't remember what that is. Yeah, I switched to 2 because 3 was working and then 2 wasn't working on their website. And I'm actually curious, how about 1? That also doesn't work. So 1 and 2 doesn't work, but 3 does. I wonder, this is where my question of, is there a git command to parse a pack? Because if there is, we can go in there and maybe take a look at these and see if they have what we expect them to have. Like, I want to do this. Get unpack objects, maybe? So there's the get unpack objects. I wonder if we can try that. So if I do get unpack, okay, well, it auto completes for that. And so we have these 2 packs. Now, can I do something with pack 9 DDE, something like that? No, okay. Oh, but there's a man page for it. Read a pack archive from the standard input, expanding the objects contained within and writing them into the repository. Dry run, quiet, die on R. But, oh, so it's, Can I cat the pack? So if I cat we pack that one and we pipe this into get unpack objects. Okay. It did it. It kind of did it, but it didn't I was hoping that it would create like the tree and everything else here. Like I don't see the other the actual objects. Let's try with the -r command. The -r command. Zero exit. So it thinks that it did it properly. So I don't think this does what I expected it to. It didn't create the actual objects in here. So is there a get command to parse? It's like maybe not parse, like explore pack file. It looks like it's the ordering. The ordering? As in, oh, as in it's looking for a file in there that doesn't exist yet? Oh no. In your case, the 7th object points to the 8th. No. Okay. Why would they do this? Okay. So that would make sense that we can't find it. I can't just skip it because it's kind of needed. Then what I have to do is delay it and create a queue. Do I want this to be a queue or a stack? Maybe more specifically, I don't care about, oh, how about this? How about this? Maybe I can not run the processing of the ref objects until all the pack objects are done, which, I mean, kind of sucks, but like, let's say handle ref delta. What if we change this? Wait, that won't work because I need to move it a certain amount. Okay, does this document talk about this at all? Oh, because they create an index. That's why. They don't have this problem because they're reading from an index file, and the index file then tells them where to read it from the pack file. So every time that they're reading from the pack file, they're just seeking to it and reading that amount and then exiting out and going back to the index file again. So my choice here is either do a one run through and then create the index file and then run the pack file stuff, or do all the objects first. I think we have to do that, don't we? We have to create the index file. You store everything in a map. I guess the problem is that, well, I guess maybe if I don't find it, your pack file parsing completes because you're not doing any extra work in the step. Oh, interesting. So let's say if we don't find it, we still need to do something with it, right? But that doesn't mean that we have to do it now. And by me reading the hash out, that moves the cursor forward, which I think is fine. And this kind of makes me feel that I should pass in another object here of like a delay. So like handle later, essentially. Make this a mutable vector of, I guess this would be a hash, right? So we can make that a hash. Now, instead of an expect, we are going to have to if let else this. So we'll let sum equals that. Otherwise, I want to push this in. Okay, so yeah, you don't exist. So therefore, we're going to push this into handle later. So handle later. And we're going to create a hash new and pass in this hash. And then we need to do an early return here of an okay like that. Yeah, that's actually where the error occurs. The error occurs right here when I try to do a get. So I try to get out the hash from my previously saved get objects. And it's not there yet, which means it's most likely going to be there in the future. So if we exit out because you're not there, we can try this again later. Now, I'm really curious about this because, like, okay, so if we're processing these, we exit early so we don't actually do anything now. We're going to need to pass in a get ref We pass those in there. You're happy, except I somehow lost closing parentheses again. Okay, so then you run at the end here. Now we're saving to get objects. Everything is great. Yay, awesome. Okay, so what I want to know is if I print line and we, this would be a debug probably. So if I debug and we say, ref hashes to process last, I want to see what that is. Oh, so the problem is that I don't seek far enough. Wait, did I just skip a seek that I was supposed to not skip? Okay, so I read in the hash, which is 20 items. So that moves our cursor forward 20, which is fine. I get my current position, create the decoder. I figure out what the base object size is. I figure out what the new object size is. Okay, you think your assumption was incorrect. You looked at your implementation again and you were reading it wrong. Interesting. So we're doing something wrong here, which is unfortunate because it's hard to sort of like figure out exactly where that wrong is. The order of the pack file is correct, so it should be there in the map. Putting on my like Sherlock Holmes hat. If I'm pushing everything that I'm working on into the hash map, which I'm doing, and if all of the objects are going into there correctly, which they are because we're able to exit out, it's the same insert because it's the same function for all of the normal files, which tells me that the hash that I'm trying to get out here is probably wrong. The next assumption that we need to validate, or maybe I shouldn't say some assumption. My next hypothesis that we need to validate here is that my handle ref delta is incorrect. Which is interesting because it works the first time. The first time through this function, we get this hash out. But then the second time, we get this hash, which doesn't exist as one of these, which is wrong. So if there's two ref delta files, or two ref deltas in the pack file, the second time I'm through, I'm off. And looking at this, insert hash, insert hash, insert hash. So we do a bunch of insert hashes, and then I process ref delta hash that. I insert the hash, which this doesn't mean anything because that's wrong. I do insert a hash into the map, but it's inconsequential. I then process the next one and it doesn't exist. So did I not go through far enough? Or more likely, when I am applying the delta instructions, is this incorrect? And I'm not adding enough things to here. There are 2 hashes in a ref delta. Are there? I don't remember anymore. It's been too long. I'm only reading 1 hash, I believe. I'm creating a new hash. Based upon the decompressed object, like that I created, but that doesn't seem right. There's the hash you read and the object hash. I wonder if that's my problem. Now I rate, do I need to run this twice then? So if I run this twice, let's not do this anymore. So if I get the hash, no, you have the hashes. I'm just trying to figure out if you are inserting them correctly. Okay. The hashes that need to be inserted are the normal file hashes, the blob hashes, right? The blobs. Yeah, it'd just be the blobs. They're not trees and not commits. Just blobs, right? Oh, and an ad is going to start in 5 minutes. I did catch that one. The ref delta points to another ref delta. Okay. Now I am trying to push. Maybe that's what it is. Hold on. So let's not do this. We have this hash. Let's also undo this thing. Now I'm encoding this hash and taking a look at that, which is great. Okay. You map the decompressed object hash to the decompressed object. I believe so. Yeah? But I think what you're trying to say is that I don't want this to be here. I don't care about this hash at all. I want this hash to go in, don't I? So this would just be the hash like that, except you need to be a hash new hash. And then, of course, the decompressed object is the value of that. Is that right? Let's find out. Processing ref delta hashes 5a, which is not the same as this one, though. So this one is missing. So if I am supposed to insert something, I'm not inserting it correctly. What should I be inserting then? If not this? Like, is there two hashes? But we know that the decompressed object is not correct too. So I was attempting to, after we applied the delta instructions and we built up the decompressed object, I tried to hash that, which is part way through, and then insert that. But that didn't work either. That's not the correct hash. I guess what is the hash? Oh, ad break just started. Oh man, it's been the 5 minutes already. Okay, I do want to take a quick restroom break, so I will be back shortly. Break ends in around 45 seconds. Let's see. So Sitsu, you're thinking that maybe that was correct? Maybe our decompressed object is what we want it to be? If we can try, I can try taking a hash of this again. Wait. Is this need to be a compressed? That I compress it as a hash? RDP, hello. How are you doing today? Yeah, I'm not doing anything crazy in this get hash. I'm not like compressing it. But I wonder... It's all very odd. Yes, the key should be object hash, not the hash you read above. So it's the object hash after I okay, from this... Oh, do I need to compress this again? I have a decompressed object, but do I need to compress it and then write it? Alex, hello. How are you? Let's try that. We haven't tried that yet. So let's try recompressing this object.